In this session, we are going to discuss Python function.
A function may or may not have its input arguments. Also, a function may or may not return anything. So here we are defining one function. The name of the function is findMax. It is having a and b as input arguments. So here if a is greater than b, they return a. That means which is the maximum one will be returned, and that's why the name of the function is findMax here. So if a is greater than b, return a, else it will return b here. So this function is having input parameters a and b. So while calling this findMax, we are passing parameter 10, which will be assigned to the variable a, and also passing 20, which will be assigned to the variable b here. So if 10 is greater than 20, the condition is false, so it will return the value b. That means 20 will be returned, and that we can print here. So let us go for the execution. So max number between 10 and 20 is 20. So if I make this one as 100, if I make this one 100, then obviously the output will be accordingly changed. So max number between 100 and 20 is 100 here. So in this way, I have shown you that how a function can take input arguments and how it can return a value. Next one, we're going for this hello. Here we are having two parameters. One is the name, another one is the message. The message is having one default argument. So it will print hello and then name and the message. So here you see we have passed the first argument as Ognivo, so that will be assigned to the name, and the second argument we have passed as have a nice day, and that will be assigned to the message. So in the second time, when I'm calling this hello function, we are passing only Ognivo, not the second argument we are passing. In that case, as the second parameter is missing, it will take the default value of the second parameter. So let us go for the execution. You can find that hello is coming from this particular string. So hello Ognivo, comma, have a nice day. I passed this have a nice day, so that's why it has got printed accordingly. Next one is hello Ognivo, how are you? Because I didn't pass the second argument, second parameter is not being passed. As a result of that, the default argument is actually is getting assigned onto this message variable. Okay, now let us go for the another one. So here you see we are having one function. The name of the function is sumall, which will take the function with the arbitrary arguments. So sum is equal to 0. For I in arguments, sum is equal to sum plus I and return sum. So here this star args will indicate that here you can pass multiple number of arguments as required. There is no upper limit. We can pass multiple number of arguments as required. So in that case, for I in args, so it will retrieve one of the arguments at a time, and that argument will get added with the sum. Before going for this addition, we have made this sum initialized with the value 0, and then we are having this return sum. So let us go for the execution. So with this particular function sumall, we have passed 5 parameters. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. If we just go on adding, you are going to get here 15. So that's why sum of all the integers between 1 to 5 is 15 here. So sum of all integers. So this particular line has got printed. So in this way, you can have a function with the variable number of arguments in our Python. Now let us go for this particular method. So here the method name is default argument. It is having 3 input parameters a, b and c, and their values will get printed. So default argument has been called with these values 10, 20 and 30. Okay, now let me go for the execution of the same. I'm finding this one, a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20 and c is equal to 30 here. So now I'm just doing some changes in my code. Here I'm not passing the third parameter. I'm passing only 10 and 20. Then what is the outcome? We are finding one error. There is a type error. It is showing one error. There is a type error, and it is telling that default argument function missing one required positional argument, that is c. Because I didn't pass the third argument, so c has got not initialized. So what we are doing, I'm just here putting here 300. If I execute the code, you can find that as I didn't pass the value for c, so the default argument is getting assigned on this c variable. Okay, now next one. I'm doing some changes here. Here I'm not passing the value for b. If I go on execution, you can find that I'm finding one error, and it is telling that default argument function missing one required positional argument b. So the value for b is missing here. So that is the problem. So we are doing this one in this way. We're retrieving this problem in this way. We're resolving this problem in this way. Now you can find that we're having this 200, the default argument is being assigned, and this default argument is being assigned, and 10 as I passed, that will be assigned to a here. Okay, next one. I'm not passing anything, I'm just making only this one. So if I go for execution, you can find that default argument function missing one required positional argument, that is a. So in that case, what will happen? In that case, I should make some default argument to be mentioned. You see, so all the default values have got assigned here. So in this way, I've shown you that how the default arguments are playing their roles. Now next time I'm going for the another one. I'm just mentioning that b is equal to 222, c is equal to 333, and here we are having this a is equal to 111. We're having this one. So now if I go on executing, you can find that we're having this 111, 222, 333. You can also see that I have mentioned them in different order, not in the order in which we have actually defined them in the function input parameters. So here we can mention explicitly that this 222 will be assigned to b, 333 will be assigned to c, and 111 will be assigned to a, and accordingly the values have got mapped. So I'm just making a copy of it and just withdrawing this assignment. So in that case, as the value of c is missing, so the default value 300 will be assigned to c. So default value 300 will be assigned to c. So in this way, I've shown you that how these arguments can be of different types, how the what is the your default arguments, how to write one function which will take multiple number of arguments as required. So we are giving you the demonstration with some examples to make your conception clear on Python functions. Thanks for watching this video. In this session, we are going to discuss functions. And in case of Python functions, the function name should be defined, and here we'll be using the keyword. There is a define, that is a def, and the function name. Within the opening first bracket and closing first bracket, we can write the respective parameters if I want to pass some input parameters there. This is known as user defined function because we are writing the respective function body. Always the function should have this opening first bracket and the closing first bracket that will indicate that it is a function here. As here we are writing the function body, so it will be known as the user defined function. But if you don't write the function body, that means in case of print, you can easily find that this print is a function because it is having this opening first bracket and the closing first bracket, and it is taking a string as input parameter, but we are not writing the body of this print. So that's why it is called library function or inbuilt function. After writing this def and then function name, then opening bracket, closing bracket, then we shall put one colon here. Then rest part of the function body will have the indentation, which is the 4 blank spaces are there. So all the statements which will be maintaining these 4 blank spaces beforehand will be treated as a part of the function body. Okay, so in this way there is no begin end, there is no curly brace open, curly brace close, there is no block begin and block end marker. Only this indentation will indicate that these statements are within these function bodies. So this hello one is a function which is having no return statement. You can find that there is no return statement we have written. But in case of hello 2, we are having one return statement, and it is having this string to be returned. Return command returns back the control to the caller and mainly used to return a value to the caller of the function. So whenever we are calling this hello 1, then this print statement will get executed because this is the only one statement within this hello 1 function body. But in case of hello 2, when you'll be calling this hello 2, it will return one string. So the control will come back to the caller when this return statement will be executed, and then print will print this particular print function or print method will print the string which will be returned here. So let us go for the execution. You can find this is the outcome of hello 1 function calling, and this is the outcome of this print hello 2 function. So a function can have the first statement which will be in the indentation will be known as the document string or doc string if it is enclosed within triple single quotes or triple double quotes. So I can write this one as this one. So this is a multi-line text. So you see I have written this one within triple single quotes. Now this is known as the doc string, and this doc string is the first statement in this function body which is having the indentation. Okay, so how to access this one? So we can do this one in this way. So in this way I can access this respective doc string or document string. You can easily find this is a multi-line text. Instead of enclosing it within triple single quotes, also you can use them as triple double quotes. Then also it will have the same output as I have shown you. Okay. Next we are going for the other program part. Here one thing has to be remembered. Here this hello one is a user defined function because we are writing the function body. This hello 2 is a user defined function because we are writing this function body. But this print is a inbuilt function or the library function because we are not writing the function body of print, but we are using it, we are calling it according to our purpose. So that's why this print is known as the library function here. Here we have defined multiple functions. So first function is my addition, which takes x and y as input argument. So here the keyword def, that is a defined function name, and then input arguments enclosed within opening first bracket and closing first bracket, colon must be there, and there is the body of the function which is printing this statement, that is performing the addition operation and return x plus y. Similarly we have written the function body for subtraction, performing the subtraction operation, return x minus y. My multiplication, which is taking x and y as input parameters, performing the multiplication operation, return x star y. My division, it is taking this x and y as input arguments, so print performing the division operation, return x by y. So in this way we have defined my addition, my subtraction, my multiplication, my division methods. Now we are going to define another method that is known as the my menu. All these methods are user defined functions. So under this my menu we are having this main menu will be printed, then 4 options are going to get printed, then it will ask for the option number, Here input is a function, library function, which returns a string. So before assigning it to the variable ch, I'm doing the typecasting using another inbuilt function, library function, that is int. So now it will return the value of ch. So my menu returns the value of ch. Let us go for the final function, that is our def calculation. So at first it is calling my menu. So my menu will print this my menu and the 4 options, and it will ask for the choice, and then the value will be returned. The value which will be returned will be assigned to this ch. It does not mean that here the variable is ch. So here also we are supposed to have the variable ch only. You can also make it as choice. So that is not an issue because this choice is local within this my menu, and this ch is local within this calculation. So they may be having the same name, may be having the different name, but in both cases they will have their separate memory space allocation during execution of our code. So here we have read two numbers, num1 and num2. Using the same way, please enter the first number, please enter the second number. Input function returns string, so it has been converted to integer using int here. So if ch, the value which will be returned by this my menu, if ch is equal to 1, then result is equal to, you see I'm calling this my addition function, and num1 and num2 I'm passing 2 parameters. This num1 and num2 will get assigned onto x and y, you can find it, and then it will return the sum of it after printing this line. So that result will be assigned to this variable result. So that sum will be assigned to this result. For choice 2, it will return the respective difference, that will be assigned to result. In case of choice 3, the respective product will be returned, and that will be assigned to the variable result. In case of choice 4, the respective quotient will be returned, and that will be assigned to the variable result here. So print so result is equal to result, so I'm going to print that one. So if I call this respective function, that is calculation, You can go for the calculation, you can find that. It is, at first it is calling this my menu. My menu is displaying the options and it is asking for the option number. If I give the option number 1, then it is asking for the first number, let it be 100, and the second number, let it be 200. So as a result of that, as I selected option number 1, so addition will be done between 100 and 200. So as a result, we are going to get 300 here. If I execute the code once again, so here I'm going for the option number 2. I'm going for the multiplication between 10 and 20. You can easily find. So I'm getting the subtraction. Oh, I've selected option number 2. It is for the subtraction. So I'm getting here minus 10 as the outcome. So let me show it once again. So here I'm going for the option number 2, that is the subtraction. So I'm just giving the value 100 and giving the value 40. You can find that performing the subtraction operation. So because this particular line has got printed, because we wrote that one in our my subtraction method, and then it is returning x minus y, and that will be assigned to the result, and later so result is equal to the result variables value will get printed. So result is equal to 60 is getting printed because we have given inputs 100 and 40, so the difference value will be 60 here. So let us go for the third option. So option number 3. So now it is multiplication. So if I give the value say 100 and say 20, so the result is coming as 2000, performing the multiplication operation. So result is equal to 2000 here. So let us go for the last one. So if I give the option number 4, so I'm supposed to perform the division operation, so the quotient will be returned. I'm giving this 125. You can find that it is giving me the result as 4.0. So in this way, you can easily find that we have written some code here for the better explanation and for your better understanding. So a function can return a value, may not return a value. A function should be starting with this def keyword, which is defined, then the function name, then opening bracket, closing bracket will enclose the input parameters, then colon is must, and all the statements which will be written with indent, so they will be treated as within the function body. You can find that how we are writing this code and how the function is getting called here. So I think now the conception is getting clear to you that how this function can work. So I'm giving you one assignment. We know that division by 0 is illegal. So that's why whenever you are performing this division operation, before performing the division, obviously I should check the value of y. If the value of y is equal to 0, then obviously I should handle the situation carefully. So please modify this code, and so that you can also check whether division by 0 is illegal, is happening or not, and accordingly modify this code and write the program yourself. Thanks for watching this video.
Python break statement.
In this demonstration, we are discussing the use of break statement in our Python coding. So import random as R. R is the alias. We are importing the random module, and random is equal to r.rand range 1, 20. This rand range method will generate a random number in between 1 to 19, because 20 will be the exclusive limit and 1 will be the inclusive lower limit. So the number to be guessed, so whatever the value is getting generated in between 1 to 19, which will be assigned to random, and that random is getting printed here. So I is equal to 1 while true. That means we are falling in an infinite loop. So we will be executing an infinite loop while true. So print number guessed I. So the value of I will get printed. So at first it will print 1 here. So if I is equal to rand number. So now whenever this random is equal to I, in that case, we're printing this statement, and we are break. Break means the break statement is getting executed, and this break statement actually stops the loop and exits from the loop as well. And otherwise, the value of I will get increased by 1, and it will get prepared itself for the next iteration. So let us go for the execution. So here you can find that the number which has been guessed in between 1 to 19 is 4. So this I is equal to 1, the loop has got executed. For I is equal to 2, the loop has got executed. For 3 also, for 4 also, the loop has got executed. But when the 4 is equal to random, random is also containing 4. So 4 is equal to 4 when the condition is true. We are just coming out from this while construct. After printing this line, random number has been guessed successfully, and then we are exiting from this while. So now if you write any statement after this, if we write this statement after this, you can find that the respective statement will get printed. So now here the random number has guessed number 12. So loop has got executed for I is equal to 1 to 12. Random number has been guessed successfully, and then end of the program is getting executed. So in this way, we have discussed that what is the purpose of break. Break statement is actually stops the looping, and then it will exit from the loop construct. And using this Python code, we have demonstrated the use of break in our respective example. Thanks for watching this video.
Python continue statement.
In this coding, we're going to explain the use of continue statement in our Python. So for I in range 1, 20, that means the I value will be ranging from 1 to 19 because the upper limit 20 is exclusive and the lower limit 1 is inclusive here. So value of I will be ranging from 1 to 19. So if I percentage 2 is not equal to 0, that means if the number is not a even number, then we're going for the continue. That means when the number is not an even number, that means when the number is odd, then continue. Continue means the next statement will become unreachable, unexecuted, and control will come to the for statement back again. So that is the purpose of the continue. So current iteration gets continued. That means the current iteration will get continued, and the rest part of the code which will be coming after this continue statement will become unreachable, and for that iteration it will remain unexecuted. So let us go for the execution here. You can easily find the execution is producing the outcome like this. So if you make this one as 10, say, so now I will be ranging from 1 to 9. So only the even numbers are going to get printed, because in case of odd number, when the I percentage 2, there is a remainder of the division by 2 is not equal to 0. That means when it is other than any value 0, then it is continuing, so it is going back. So for the only for the even numbers, I percentage 2 will become 0. So that's why this condition will be false. So print I, this statement is getting control. As the condition is false, the continue is not getting executed. In this way, in this particular example, we have demonstrated that how to use the continue statement in our Python coding. Thanks for watching this video. In this session, we are discussing Python errors and exceptions. Under the try block, we have written a is equal to one string here, and we are trying to convert this string to the integer, and the assigned value will be assigned onto the variable b. But here you see one exception will be raising, because we cannot convert high to an integer. So let us execute this code and let us see that what will happen. Here you see this particular try block has got followed by the except block. So this except block will be initiated whenever we are having some error, within the try block. So what has happened, you see, whenever you are trying to convert this a to the integer, it has produced one error, and that's why the control has come directly to this exception block. So here this exception block will be denoted by except, and colon will be there. If I write here one statement, you can find that this statement is not getting executed. That means from this particular line where that exception has been, the error has been raised, automatically the control has come to the except block and leaving the rest part of the try block unexecuted and unreachable. But if I convert this one as 100, if I write this one as 100, you can find that I am here is getting printed. That means the full try block has got executed, but exception block, the except block has got not executed here, because there is no exception to convert 100, which is in the form of string, to integer and assign it to b. So also we can print the value of b here. You can find that the b is equal to 100 is getting printed. So in this way, we have shown you that how this try and except blocks are working here. If I convert it to high once again, you can find that except block is getting control. So next one is this one. So catching specific exception. So here a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 0, and we are trying to do a by b. So as b is equal to 0 here, so a by b will produce one exception. Here this particular error we have given the name, that is the 0 division error. So division by 0 is not possible. That is the message to be printed here. So let us go for the execution. You can find that division by 0 is not possible. So if I want to print the value of c, you can find that this particular line has become unreachable. But if I make this one say 500 and if I make this one say 10, in that case obviously the except zero division error, that block will not get the control and it will print the required value for C as 50 here. So that is our catching specific exception. So again you are making this one as 0. You can find that it is printing that division by 0 is not possible, and that means the except block is getting the control whenever we are trying to divide A by 0 here, B is equal to 0 here. So now let us go for the another one. So exception can be raised also. In our code we can raise some exceptions. So let us suppose within the try block we have raised one exception, one error, that is a type error, and except block is handling that type error, and this particular message is going to get printed. So that means we can also raise our error within the try block, and except block should have that particular error code, and that's why the respective body will be executed. So here you see we are having this type error. Instead of this type error, if we keep only this except, then also the code will produce this one. Otherwise you can mention except type error, then also the control will be coming to this block and type error exception caught, that message will get printed. So now let us go for try and finally. So within the try block we have written print in try block, and here you see there is no exception has been raised. So what will happen after execution of the try block, then the finally block will be executed. Except block will not be executed because no error has been raised here. So what will happen, the try block will get executed and the finally block will get executed. So let us go for the execution. So in try block, in the finally block, you can find this. But if we raise one error, using this code, that is raise type error, then what will happen, the try block will be executed. That means this particular code will be printed, this particular statement or string will get printed, and then this raise type error, so control will come to this except and see what happens. You can find that in try block, in except block, in the finally block. That means finally block will be executed in spite of the fact whether any error has occurred within the try block or not. So that means finally block is that very block which is supposed to get executed always, irrespective of the fact whether any error has occurred within the try block or not. Let us suppose within the try block we are opening one data file. How to open one data file, how to perform the read and write operations, we have discussed that one in the previous videos. So let us suppose we are opening one data file. The data file will be open within the try block, and we are trying to read or write from the data file. Let us suppose there is some error has occurred while reading the data file. Some portion of the data file has fallen on the bad sector of the hard disk. In that case what will happen, some IO error will take place. So in that case what will happen, the exception will be raised and control will come to the except block. But in the finally block we will be keeping always the F close. That means the closing of the file, that very method will be called from the finally block. So what will happen, whenever some error has occurred within the try block, then except block will get the control and ultimately the file will be closed. But while performing the reading or writing operation from the data file, which is there, the code has been written within the try block, if there is no error has occurred, then only also the finally block will get the control and the file will be closed accordingly. So that means those particular codes or statements which are supposed to get executed irrespective of the fact whether errors are occurring or not, they must be written under the finally block. So in this way, in this particular demonstration, we have given you the idea what is the purpose of try block, except block and the finally block. Thanks for watching this video.
Python exception handling, try, except and finally.
Now in this demonstration we shall discuss more on these exceptions and errors in Python. So here you see, here we are having one try block, A is equal to 100, B is equal to 20, C is equal to A by B. So here we are having one except block, that is the zero division error. So except on this zero division error, and division by 0 is not possible. But here you see the B is having the value which is non-zero. So we are expecting that this particular division, zero division error will not be raised. So let us go for the execution. You can find that this particular code has got not printed. So let us print it. So now if I go on executing, we can find that this 100 by 20 is equal to 5.0. So it is giving the output because there is no error has occurred. But if I make this one, as 0, then obviously the division by 0 is not possible. That means the control is coming directly from this particular line to this except block, and this particular statement is getting printed, which is written under the except 0 division error block. So now you can find that whenever one exception is occurring, then from that line the control is coming directly to the respective except block, and the rest part of the code in the try block will remain unreachable and unexecuted. So let us suppose I'm just writing this one in this way. Okay, now if I go for the execution, I'm writing this one as 100, writing this one as 20. I'm getting the required output as well. So now if I go for the execution, you can find that I'm giving the value ABC and giving the value, you see, whenever I'm writing this value ABC, I'm giving the value ABC, it cannot be converted to the integer using the type conversion method, that is int. So what is the error here? Error is the value error. So that's why I can also go for the value error here. So now I can raise here. So I'm writing one except. The data types are not proper. So I've given this value error here. So now if I execute my code and if I get 100 and then ABC, you can see I'm getting the this particular statement got printed, that is the data types are not proper. So if I execute and if I put ABC at the first, then also it is this particular value error will be caught here. So you see, whenever you are performing this conversion to integer, and whenever I'm giving the input string as ABC, ABC cannot be converted to integer. So that's why the data types are not proper. This particular statement is getting printed because the control is coming directly to this except value error. So it is not going for this 0 division error because that exception, that error is not happening. So let us go for say another one. Say I'm going for say I want to have one restriction on this A. So I'm just writing this one. If A is below this 0, that means if A is negative, then I shall have one raise, say I'm going for say a name error, say type error. Okay, so I'm just writing this one, raise type error. So here okay, so now what will happen? See, I'm putting the value 100, I'm putting the value 20, it is giving me the outcome. I'm giving the value minus 90 and giving the value say 16, I'm getting the output that the data is not in range. So in this way also you can raise your type error here. So now I'm doing another check. I'm just going for x by y. You see, x and y, they are not defined here. Then what will happen? If I go on executing, it is asking for the value. So let me give the values. And now it is raising one error, that is the name error. It is raising one error, that is the x is not defined. So that means I should go for another one, that is the name error. So data items are not defined. So that is my respective block I have written, print data items are not defined. So now if I go on executing, so these values I'm providing, no issues, but it is producing the control is coming to this except name error, and this particular statement is getting printed that the data items are not defined. So in this way, in this particular demonstration, you can find that one try block can be followed by multiple except blocks, and depending upon the error type which will be raised within the try block, accordingly the respective except block will be executed and rest part of the try block will remain unreachable and unexecuted. Thanks for watching this video.
In this video, we are discussing user-defined exceptions with one demonstration. So here is the demonstration for you.
So in this session, we are discussing user-defined exceptions. We define one class. The name of the class is voters eligibility, which is inheriting the class exception. And this voters eligibility class is having one method, that is a constructor we have defined, and from the constructor we have called the base class constructor, that is using the method super. Here the base class is our exception. So voters eligibility is one user defined class which is inheriting the base class, that is our exception, and this voters eligibility is having one constructor. From the constructor we have called the super method to call the base class constructor. So now let us come to the other part of the program code. Within the try block, age has been initialized with 12, and if age is less than 18, then raise voters eligibility. So here we are using the user defined exception, so that's why we're manually raising the exception, that is the voters eligibility. To handle the situation, we are having the except block, that is the except voters eligibility, which is printing the age is less than 18 here. And when this particular exception will not be raised, then the control will come back to the else block, and here age is greater than or equal to 18. This particular code will get executed. So now let us go for the execution for the better understanding. You see the age is less than 18 is getting printed. So that means here age is 12, so 12 is less than 18, the condition is true. So this voters eligibility will be raised, and then the control will come back to this voters eligibility. So age is less than 18 is getting printed. So now let us go for inclusion of the finally here. So let us go for the finally. So we written this one end of the program. You can find that the finally block is getting executed. So which blocks are getting executed? At first try, as the age is below 18, so the except block, else block is not getting its control for execution, and then the final block is getting executed here. So now let us go for some modifications here. At first I'm making this one set 21. So let us see what will happen. So here we are having this 21. So except, so the raise voters eligibility will not be executed, the exception will not be raised. So control will come to the else block. So age is greater than or equal to 18. That message has got printed, that string has got printed, and final block is getting printed irrespective of the fact whether any exception has occurred or not. So here we are printing the age. Here we are printing this age. You can find that the age is 21. Age is greater than or equal to 18, else block has got its control for execution. End of the program, the finally block has got its control. If I make this one 12, then age is 12, so this particular try block has got the control. From here this condition is true, so the voters eligibility will be raised, control will come to the except block, so age is less than 18 has got printed, the else block will be skipped, final block will get the control, end of the program is getting executed. So now let us suppose I'm just putting this 12 within double quotes, so it has become a string. So here you see one error has occurred, there is a type error. So I should have the respective block for the type error. So age is not numeric, so there is a type error. You can find that age is 12, so the try block has got its control and got the execution. Now you see here we are performing this check, that means age is less than 18, so age is a string, so this comparison cannot be done. So age is not numeric, so the respective type error will be raised automatically. We are not raising, when this comparison will be done, then the system will be raising this type error. So control will come to this except type error, and age is not numeric, that particular string is getting printed, and then the final block is getting printed, is getting executed, and the statement is getting printed. So you are getting this idea how these user defined exceptions can be written in our Python. Thanks for watching this video. In object-oriented programming in Python, we define class and objects. We know that instance of a class is known as an object. An object consists of multiple different messages which will be holding different values, and methods which will decide or which will determine the permitted operations that we can carry out on those messages. Here we are defining one class. The name of the class is mybird, and this class is having three different methods. The first method is very special, is underscore underscore init underscore underscore. This method is known as a constructor. A constructor name will be always underscore underscore init underscore underscore irrespective of the class name, and it will have the prototype which will be having one self as input argument. So this self is actually denoting the object reference, that means object which will be created under this class, and this is also known as this reference. So this particular init, this constructor is having only one statement to get printed. Also we are having other methods, that is the what type, and we are having the method that is scan swim. What type method is having this string to get printed, and this scan swim is also having this string to get printed here. So in this way we have declared the class body myBird. So now we are going for this myParrot, and here we are having one instance variable species which is having this string that is a bird here, and this is our constructor which will print this respective message. And here we are defining two instance variables separately extra. One is name and age, which will get initialized with these input parameters. We are having another method that is a can sing, and this from this method we are returning one string, and this is the string which will go on returning. And you see here we are passing this self.name as a first placeholder content, and this song as a second placeholder content. So in this way we have defined this myParrot class here. So now we are having the next class, that is a myPenguin. This myPenguin is inheriting the class myBird. You can easily recall that this myBird was a class, and if you go on executing you can find that it is having no method has been called from this myBird class. So that's why it is producing no output, only the mere declaration we are having. And now we are having this myParrot, and this myParrot I have executed, so no error has been observed. Now this is myPenguin. This is one class which is inheriting properties from myBird. So myBird properties means these properties will get inherited. We should know that whenever we are having one method or one message preceded by the underscore means it is a private, under the private, and double underscore means it is strictly private. Private members cannot be accessed from outside of the class. So this is myPenguin which is inheriting myBird class, and it is having the respective constructor here, and which is calling the base class constructor. The base class means the myBird. myBird constructor can only be called using super dot underscore underscore init underscore underscore method. That means we are calling the base class constructor. This super method is actually denoting the base class name, and what about the name of the base class? It can be referred using this super method, and it is calling the base class constructor. In the local function body we are writing this, the penguin is ready. Next one we are having this who is this. This is a respective string to get printed. Can run, this is another method, the respective string will get printed here. So in this way we have defined myPenguin. We have defined the myPenguin which is inheriting myBird class here. Okay, so I'm writing this one as myPenguin, that will be better. So myPenguin class inheriting the attributes from the myBird class here. So now let us go for the instantiation. That means we shall declare some instance of the class. Instance of the class means we are defining the object of the class. Here the class name is myParrot, so we are calling the constructor. So mp1, that is the myParrot1, is equal to myParrot. myParrot1 will be the name, and 10 will be given as the value for this age here. So you can find that age is will be passed and the name will be passed here. So that's why we are having this myParrot1 is the name and age is 10. myParrot2 is the name, 15 is the age here. So in this way you have defined two objects, what is mp1 and the one is mp2. It is actually denoting myParrot1 and myParrot2. So now to access the class attributes we can write in this way, mp1 is a, so we can go for format, and now mp1.class.species. So you can have this one. So species is nothing but one message, I think, one member variable we defined, there is a species, and it is not under private because we haven't given any kind of underscore, single or double before this species. So it is under the public scope, can be accessed from the outside. So that's why we're having this mp1.class.species, and now here we are having this mp2 is also the placeholder is there, and format mp2.class.species. So now we are going for this, that is the instance attribute. So now we are going for this mp1.name and mp1.age are going to get printed using this particular placeholders and dot format method. So mp1.canString, that means here we are having one method, that is a canString. This canSing, you can find that this canSing we defined here. So this is our method is canSing. This particular method requires one string as input argument, the respective the song name. So here we are passing this chirp. So that is the can sing is taking this particular string as input argument, and now we're having this. So now let me go for the execution for the better clarity. You can find that. So my parrot class constructor is executing. So whenever we're calling this particular constructor to instantiate instance variables of this my parrot, then my parrot class constructor is executing 2 times because we have defined 2 objects here. So just going to this my parrot, you can easily find that here we have written this my parrot class constructor is executing. So this line is producing the required string as output, and here the name and age are getting initialized with this input parameters name and age here. So you can get it. Okay, next we're going for this, that is the mp1 is a, you see mp1 is a bird, and mp2 is also a bird, because here this species we initialize this species with the string bird here. Okay, now we are printing this mp1.name and mp1.age, and it is giving the value as the my parrot 1 is 10 years of age, and my parrot 2 is 15 years of age. So here mp1.name is getting my parrot 1, we give that name, and age we have passed as 10, so they are getting printed. And in this case mp2.name is getting instantiated with this my parrot 2, and mp2.age is getting instantiated with this 15. So accordingly we are getting the required outcome. So now we are having this can sing. So this particular method is producing this output here. So here you can find that here we are going to have our output, that is my parrot 1 can sing chirp. And here you see we have passed this particular string chirp, that is a chirp here. So this particular string is getting printed here, because if you go to this can sing method, you can easily find that here we wrote this one, that is the respective name can sing this song. Here that this song has got initialized with the string chirp here. Okay, now we are going for the another one. So we are going to define one object under the class my penguin. So now this is our class my penguin. It has got the method, that is a who is this and can run. These are respective strings are going to get printed using the print function. So pg1 dot who is this, pg1 dot can swim, and pg1 dot can run here. So you can find that this particular class my penguin is having the instance functions, that is our who is this and can run. This my bird were already defined here. It is having the method what type and can swim. So as a result of that, this my penguin is inheriting my part. So as a result of that, my birds defined the methods, the defined methods has got inherited into my penguin, so they can be accessed. So here we have used this pg1 dot can swim and pg1 dot can run here. You can easily find that in bird we are having this can swim, and in penguin we are having this can run, but from the my penguin object I can access both can run and can swim exactly. So now you can find this one. So if I execute, then penguin is ready. This particular message is getting printed from the constructor. So here we are having the constructor, here we have written this penguin is ready, and now we are having this I can swim, I can run faster. This I can swim, I can run faster has come from this can run, which is defined within this my penguin class, but as it is inheriting my bird class, so from the my bird I can swim, that is I can swim, this particular message is getting printed as we call this can swim method. So I think from this particular example you are getting this idea how to define one class, how to define one object, what is inheritance, and when the inheritance is taking place, then how to access the base class members from the derived class objects. So I think if you are getting this idea, this is a required output we are going to get printed. So now let us go for another part. So here we are defining one class, that is a personal computer, to show you that what is data encapsulation. In case of data encapsulation, the member variables and the member functions will get encapsulated within the class. So init, as I discussed earlier, that init is nothing but one constructor. Here this max computer price is nothing but one instance variable which has got initialized with the value 20,000. We're having another method, that is the myCell. We're having the method set max computer price. So you can find that these are respective bodies are there, and set max computer price is taking this price as input parameter, and that price is instantiating or initializing max computer price, that is the instance variable. And against this personal computer class, we have defined one object. The name of the object is pc.mycell. So this method is going to get executed. pc.maxComputerPrice, we have just updated that one using 30,000 here. So pc.mycell, you see the respective method will get printed. And set max computer price, again we're calling this set max computer price method, passing this price as input argument, input parameter, which will initialize this max computer price instance variable. So again, if you go on printing my cell, then obviously I shall be getting this updated price here. So now let me go for the execution. You can find that selling price is 20,000. Initially the selling price will be 20,000 because max price within the constructor got initialized with 20,000. So whenever we call this pc.mycell, so max price has got printed as 20,000. After that, we did some update directly using the instance variable. Then we did some update using this set max computer price method, and here the price has become 30,000. So my cell has printed the selling price as 30,000. After doing the update with the 40,000, pc.mycell, this method is printing the selling price as 40,000. So you are getting this idea how these classes are having the respective messages and the methods encapsulated within the class. So I think now you are getting the idea in case of Python how we can implement object oriented language features. Thanks for watching this video.
In this session, we are discussing Python nested dictionary implementation.
Now here we'll be declaring and defining a nested dictionary. So people is equal to 1 colon. So 1 is the key here, and here we are having the value, and the value is also having the key value pair. So again we are having this, there is a key is 2, and this is my value, and value is another dictionary which is having the key value pairs. So that's why it is called nested dictionary. So if we print people, we'll be getting the outcome like this one. So now we are trying to access elements of the dictionary. So print people 1. So 1 means the key will be 1 here. So now we are trying to retrieve from the value, we are trying to retrieve the value against the key name. So accordingly we are getting this John here. For the age we are getting this 27, and for the sex we are getting here male. So in this way we can access elements of this nested dictionary. So next one we are going to define another people 3, that is the key will be 3, and it is a empty dictionary here. So now adding elements to the dictionary. So people 3 name is Luna, people 3 age 24, people 3 sex female, and people 3 married no. So now if you go on printing, we are already having this the respective key with the values, that is key value is 1, here the key is 2, here the key is 3, and the respective nested dictionary we are observing here. Adding a dictionary to a nested dictionary. So there is another way to add another dictionary, another entry in the nested dictionary. So people 4, so here 4 is the key, and the respective value will be the another dictionary here. So if you go for this print people 4, we are getting this outcome like this one. So there is a people, there is a people 4 is this one, but if I print the people, then we are having the respective entry against the key 1, against the key 2, against the key 3, and against the key 4 here. So in this way the nested dictionary is getting printed. Now deleting elements from a nested dictionary. So if we go for this print people 3, print people 4, so that means key is given as 3, key is given as 4 here. So now what will happen, I'll be getting the respective entry, respective value against the key 3 and against the key 4 here. So now we are deleting people 3 married. So that means this married colon yes, this married colon no, and this married colon yes, they will get deleted if we execute these two set of statements. So now if we print this people 3 and people 4, we're getting them, and this particular key value pair will be omitted because they have got deleted already. So that is a way to handle this our nested dictionary for the deletion of elements. Now just consider this one. We are having another nested dictionary here. So in this particular nested dictionary, I'm just printing this people. So you can find that this with the against the key 1 the values are there, against the key 2, against the key 3, against the key 4 we're having the respective values there. So now we are going for this del, that is a deleting dictionary from the nested dictionary. So we are deleting this dictionary, there's the people 3 and people 4. In that case, if you go for the printing, the print of this people, we are getting this the dictionary entries against the key value 1 and against the key 2 here. So against the key 3 and 4 the respective dictionary will be deleted. So now let us go for this. So at first I'm just printing here people dot items. So you see in the dictionary in the dict items we are getting this one as 1, this 2, this is another dictionary we are remaining with. So now we are using a for loop. We are just writing this one, that is for PID comma pinfo in people dot items. So PID will be initialized in the first iteration, will be initialized by 1 and pinfo will be initialized with this respective dictionary. And in the second iteration PID will be initialized with 2 and pinfo will be initialized with this nested inner dictionary here. So now we are printing this person ID PID. So we are getting this one, person ID is getting printed as 1, person ID is getting printed as 2 in the next iteration. So now to retrieve the respective values against the key in this inner nested dictionary, we are again using another for loop. So for key in pinfo, we are printing this key, then concatenating with a colon, and then we are printing this pinfo key here. So we are getting this person ID colon 1, so that is getting printed from here, and within this loop, within this for loop, we are printing name colon John, name age colon 27 and sex colon male here. So in this way the things are getting printed. So we are having this name, we are having this age, we are having this sex. So the three values have got picked up against the respective 3 keys from the inner nested dictionary, and in the next iteration we are retrieving the values, key value pairs accordingly in this nested for loop. So in this way, in this particular discussion, we have discussed that how to handle with the nested dictionaries and how to tackle with the key and the value pairs according to our requirement. Thanks for watching this video.
Python operator overloading.
In this session, we are going to demonstrate and illustrate operator overloading which has to be done in our Python programming. We have defined one class, that is the name of the class is myPoint. We know that here we will be considering a 2-dimensional point which will have 2 coordinates x and y. So this is our constructor, and instance variables self.x and self.y will get initialized with the input parameters x and y. These input parameters x and y will have its default arguments, that is 0 and 0. We are also overriding one method, that is underscore underscore str underscore underscore. This very method will be executed whenever we are going to print object under the class myPoint, and it will return one string which will have x comma y only. You see, we have just generated one string here and that will be returned. We are also overwriting one method. This is known as the overloading, and that is plus operator. So this plus operator, here you see we have defined one method, that is underscore underscore add underscore underscore. So this method will take one object, that is the other, as input, and it will do the addition in this way. Self.x, that is the instance variable x, and other.x will be added. Self.y and other.y will be added. They will be assigned to x and y, and then the object will be returned with this particular, which will be defined with this particular constructor myPoint, keeping this x and y as input argument. So actually we are calling the constructor of the class myPoint with x and y as input arguments here. Next we are going for the overloading of this less than operator. So here in case of overloading, we are just defining one method, that is underscore underscore lt underscore underscore. It will be having the self and the other, that is the another myPoint class object as input argument. So how we are calculating whether it is less than or greater than. So it will be calculated in this way. You see self.x square plus self.y squared will be calculated, and that will be assigned to self underscore magnitude, and then other.x squared and other.y squared will be calculated, and then the sum will be kept in other underscore magnitude. So now we shall return self underscore magnitude less than other underscore magnitude. That means it returns a boolean if self underscore magnitude is lesser than other underscore magnitude. In that case it will return true, otherwise it will return false. So this underscore underscore lt underscore underscore method will return one boolean. So here we are overloading this plus operator, here we are overloading the minus operator, minus less than operator. Okay, so now we have defined two objects, that is p1 and p2, under the class myPoint. And here you see this p1 and p2 under the point myPoint. Here we have passed this x and y values as 1 and 2. So in case of p1, the respective instance variable x and y will get updated with 1 and 2 respectively, and in case of p2, the x and y will get updated with the values 4 and 5 respectively, because we have passed these parameters to this parameterized constructor myPoint. So at first we are going to print this p1 and p2. When you are going to print this myPoint class objects, then underscore underscore str underscore underscore method will get executed and it will print in this way. So let us go for the execution. You can find that it has printed 1 comma 2 within enclosed within first brackets, and then for this against this line it is printing 4 comma 5 enclosed within first brackets there, and print will leave one blank line here. Next, p1 less than p2. So p1 less than p2, it will be calculated and it is returning true. Why? Because here we are having 1 square plus 2 square. What is the value? That means 1 plus 4, that is 5. And here we are having 16, that is a 4 square plus 25 square. So that is quite larger compared to this 1 square plus 2 square. So that's why it is returning true here. Now this particular operation can also be done using this underscore underscore lt underscore underscore method directly. So p1 dot underscore underscore lt underscore underscore p2, this p2 is getting assigned onto this other. This p2 is getting assigned onto this other in case of this add and this lt methods. So you see we are doing the same. Actually this line is very much similar with this line, so that's why this calling of this overloading function is same as this one, and also this line is also doing the same as this line is doing. So that's why we are getting the same output here. And in this way we have explained that how the operator overloading can be done in our Python and how to write the respective code. Thanks for watching this video.